Good morning, Chief. How you doing today? I woke up and you were sleeping right under my neck, curled up in a ball under my neck. Jaw, you're not going on the adventure today, but I am going to do something awesome today. Well, I'm here for today's vlog, and I couldn't be more excited. What's crazy is that, like, 3 days ago, I didn't even know this existed. Basically, what happened was I decided I was going to do the Rudy Valentino vlog. I started doing all my research for it, and then I found out one of his cars is here. This is a museum you will not find anywhere else that I know of. Now, I'm not a huge car buff by any means. I don't know how to do anything on a car. I've told you guys that. But as a kid, my parents used to take me to an amusement park in Cincinnati called Kings Island, and they had one of those little rides where you could, like, it was cars that would go like 10-15 mile an hour, and they were actually gas powered, and they were on a track and everything. And their cars were like based off of these type of cars. God, how amazing these cars are. Oh my God, from the pictures I can already tell that's it. That is it, man. That is Valentino's car. I saw online that that was the license plate they have for it. Whoever owns it now. This is it, man. This is it. Holy cow, dude. I even found pictures online of him working on this car. He actually owned a lot of Voicens in his life. Like almost every 2 years or every year or so he'd get a new one. Man. Look at that. Look at that, 1923. Oh, man. Dude, he rode around in this. Man. Now, here's how you can tell that this was Valentino's for sure. He had the custom Cobra on top on all of his Voicens. That didn't come with the car. That was something that he had made and he would have installed on all of his. Because he owned like a 1917, I think a 21, and then he had a 25 too. So that house up on Whitley, that's actually where that picture was taken from. The one they bulldozed for the 101. Yep. Man. Now in the pictures he has the top back. And it's been repainted because it was all, I think it was all gray originally. These little rim things were not black. At least on the pictures I've been able to find. Man, dude. You guys want to hear the other crazy thing about this place? Free admission. And fitting of a star, man, look at that. Look where he stepped up, right on top of that star. See that? Kind of like I just said, the coiled cobra mascot was a gift from Douglas Fairbanks. Look at the headlights. The headlights are actually up here on the sides. See how long this thing is, because that's an awful long car. And like I told you guys, Francis X. Bushman's car was 23 feet long, so let's see if we can find out any specs here. I actually don't see it listed on there, but that's a very long car. One of the other places that I've always wanted to vlog, and eventually I will do it. I didn't mention it in my top 10, but it would be in a top 20. I'd like to recreate the, at a much slower pace, the route from Bullitt that Steve McQueen drove. He actually did that himself. That wasn't a stunt person. He actually did that. Most stunt people wouldn't even do it. Man. Bad. You guys can't really tell, but that's actually white. That's a white Gullwing. Sorry guys, I know that sometimes vlogs can be really boring if it's just like somebody walking through a museum and everything, but this is stuff that you're not going to get to see anywhere else, and I just figure I don't care how long this vlog turns out to be. Even if my grandpa's the only one who enjoys it, I'm going to put everything into it. I want to give you guys the experiences if you were here. Because honestly, I've lived here 16 years, almost 17, and I didn't even know this place was here. I didn't even know it existed. God, I've always loved the odd and unique, like I said, so. By the way, my dream car is a Rolls Royce, if any of you were ever looking for that last minute Christmas present. I'm not going to insist on the name embossed on the side, but it'd be a nice touch. Whew. Yeah, baby, look at that rolls. Look at that. Dang. Originally owned by Miss Marjorie Merriweather Post of the post-breakfast food fame. This also looks like the exact car they used for Arthur Bach in Arthur, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like Bitterman should be up there driving that? Now let's flip the camera around. Check out what's behind me. This stuff, this is even cooler. I feel like as we progress as a society, the construction and the design of cars just doesn't look as cool. Man, I just keep looking at Valentino's car over there. That's not the one he wrecked, but I found stories about him being in a famous wreck where he had pretty much demolished his car and come out unscathed somehow. A 1907 Westinghouse. Wow, man. Original price, $7,500. The original owners were the Roebling family, the builders of the Brooklyn Bridge. Super cool, right? I mean, for its age, thing ain't looking too shabby. Look at that, lanterns. Guys, I've done a lot of cool things in my life as far as the time that I've lived out here, but this is by far, I think this is cooler than any of the presidential libraries I've been to. This is just amazing. And I'm not a car fan. I just, history. Look at the inside of those, man. Look at that. That's how you would have shifted. It's like Willy Wonka's car when he goes through the bubble machine or whatever. The sign for that one must be on the other side. I'll loop around and catch it. Actually, I think after this car, I'll go over on that side. They actually have this pretty well laid out, this museum, so it's easy to kind of not skip over things. Some museums, you don't really have a choice, and you have to skip. You have to figure out different routes of retracing. And this one, they laid it out pretty well. Can you see that? That's actually like, it's bronzed and patinaed over time. How cool is that? Okay, let's see who Mr. JB was. Jim Backus, maybe? Voice of Mr. Magoo and Thurston Howell? I don't know. Oh, it doesn't say. Incidentally, like I said, I think these are all people's private collection that they've loaned on display for this. I don't know who owns Valentino's car. I actually wasn't able to find that out. But I did find a really interesting story about Valentino's ring. I almost need to do a vlog on that. Okay, I get it now. JB on these cars is JB Nethercutt, the man whose museum this is. So this is all his collection. So he owns Valentino's car. Wow, look at the coloring on this. That is beautiful. 1956. Sheikh Abdullah III. 20-mile jaunt along Kuwait's only paved road, at the end of which it is said he kept the second Phantom. Wow. Can you imagine seeing that driving down Kuwait? The streets of Kuwait. Wow, guys, there's so much to see in here. It's just mind-blowing. That's pretty cool. Not as cool as the others, but... Okay, so here's another one of these green ones. That must have been a color scheme that they really went with back then. I've just never seen it. The original owners were the people that started Woolworths. There's cars behind me too, and I'll flip around and get those. Just trying to figure out a scheme of this. I'd love to see like maybe one of Clark Gable's cars or somebody like that in here. I honestly, online they don't really give you, they show you that Valentino's car's here and they show a few of the cars, but they don't really let you know what they have. So this is all kind of a surprise and a mystery to me. A 1936 Pierce Arrow Travelodge. Wow! Wow! Check that out. That's how you traveled in style, my friend. Look at the Pierce Arrow logo. See, they just don't make stuff like that anymore. They just don't make cool emblems like that. How is it that people have Mercedes-Benz necklaces and earrings and things like that that I've seen in my lifetime? Tattoos. Some boring symbol like that. 1911 Oldsmobile. And they could be sporting a Pierce Arrow tattoo. Price when new, $7 grand. Wow. That's a real kind of carriage look to it still. I mean, it's, wow, it's huge. It's like the size of a Jeep from like Indiana Jones. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Like I said, I know sometimes people go into museums and just scanning their phone or their cameras over stuff is pretty boring. But like I said, if I'm here and even one person gets something out of seeing all this stuff that they wouldn't get to see on their own, it's totally worth it for me. Totally worth it. I don't think I'll lose my viewers over one vlog. Prototype. 7-passenger touring. Okay. This car was actually original. Did you see that? I probably went away so fast. This car was originally owned by J.W. McGuire, owner of the Pierce Arrow dealership. So, prototype is exactly what that is. Straight from the inventor's house. Look at the license plate. Horseless carriage. And look at the emblem, the Pierce emblem. I'm back here to this 1911 Oldsmobile because that's kind of where I stopped. And I figured this is a good place to get. Look at that. That's a 1914 American. That's what that's called. I've never actually heard of those. How comfortable those seats look. I don't even see a speedometer in there. Sounds good to me. Look how much it was new. The 1917 Simplex. Man, that is beautiful. The headlights look like they have eyelids. I really like the side mirrors. Did you see that? How classy that is. They really cared about the way things looked back then. Now it's just all fiberglass junk. I'm sure there's a reason for it that I don't know, but I love that they're letting you take pictures and film in here. Their only rule is no selfie sticks. And I don't have a selfie stick today. Oddly enough, I stopped off at a gas station to buy one because I lost it when we did the Charles Manson vlog. And they didn't have any. So all I have is my my tripod that I can hold this with. 1915 Pierce Arrow. But it's pretty cool. They want you to share the history, obviously. Now, I told you guys my grandpa's really into cars. His grandfather, Sam Breidenbaugh, owned the first Chrysler dealership in our area of Ohio. So that's how extensive my family goes. After the restoration, the shop guys thought the color of the car reminded them of Kermit the Frog, and that's why there's a Kermit that sits on the radiator cap. I can understand that. You see Kermit? That's a really old school style Kermit. Looks like somebody made him himself, but man, the wood paneling, everything about that car. And then I think we've already been here. Thank you guys also for purchasing shirts. They sent me an email today letting me know that more people had bought shirts, and I so appreciate it. And also, by the way, save your money for the next week because starting October 31st, there's going to be a sale, and I'll post what the sale promotional code is in here at that point. And for a week, it's I think 20% off or more. I don't know if free shipping still is involved, but yeah, I appreciate everybody helping me out. That's vlogging in Sweden money. Man, that's beautiful. I've never even heard of a Kenworthy, other than appliances. But I love the back of that has that diamond. You see that? I think this thing might actually play. Nope, it doesn't. A Hartford Pope. Man, this is one of these vlogs I wish my grandpa was here with me so he could tell me whether he'd seen any of these in his life. He was born in 1928, I believe. And so he may have seen a few of these cars still floating around. Heck, he may have owned some as his first cars. I know he bought cars about as early as you could because he was a farmer, so when he was able to get his license earlier than everybody else. Man, that is a beautiful car. I may have to befriend that guy up in the hills that I took a picture of his car the other day. He was actually a really nice guy. And, man, I may have to befriend that guy and see if he can't let us take us for a ride in that thing and we can vlog it. That'd be cool, huh? This is awesome. A Lozier. Mr. Huntington, founder of the Southern Pacific Railroad and the Huntington Library. Jeez. Yep. I mean, if you invent that kind of stuff, you certainly should be riding around in this. Oh man, I don't have any nickels on me. Actually, I don't have any change at all. Dang. Well, that's alright. I already got the footage of it playing a little bit ago. (1911) Moon. So interesting how similar yet how different they would all make these cars. The manufacturers. They had almost a basic sense of the style, but then they just, on the details, they just went hog wild uniqueness on it. I love it. The 1911 Moon is the third oldest moon automobile known to exist. And there's some more of those little, you can even see the wick in there still, right? Man, this is such a cool place. Guys, if you are ever in Los Angeles, from Hollywood it's about 25, 23 minutes, something like that, in Sylmar. This place is so cool. Sorry about the glare, guys. I hope it's not a big pain in the butt through this whole thing. This was a form of a music box because that's the kind of stuff it plays. Oh, right next to it is another horseless carriage. Now this looks like, I was gonna say I thought it was another Voisin like Valentino owned because of the bumper's the same, but it's not. It's a 1922 Ario. I wonder if this is where they got the name Ario Speedwagon. Can you imagine that band riding out onto the stage to perform in this car? Hilarious. (1928) Gardner. It's kind of a hard one to get a picture of. Kind of the other cool thing about having this little tripod thing is that it's on one of those little roller kind of attachments, so I can kind of swivel the camera a little bit better, like that, instead of so much like mechanical movement from my hand. It's a 1916 simplex crane. A 1919 Cunningham. That is beautiful. Another car I've never heard of before. Cunningham? Lots of spare tires. Were those decoration, or were those actually, did you blow out tires that often that you... Because it looks like there's one on each side. And some of these cars even have them on the back as well, so that's like 3 of them. Sorry, that beam's kind of in the way. Now, we're at the 1932 Packard. And you know who owned a 1932 Packard? Well, actually, no, this is 1937. I'm sorry. I was going to say 1932 was Jean Harlow, and I'm actually going to do a little segment on Jean Harlow tomorrow and her 1932 Packard. But never mind. I was wrong on that one. I thought that's what that was. I misread the number. I don't know. It's got a cool front end, but the rest of it just really boxy and basic to me. Here's a doozy. Get it? A doozy. Because it's a 1923 Duesenberg. It's not only so interesting just to see these things, but I love that they have told the story on here as well. It's, you know, this is a self-guided tour kind of situation. But here's a 1930 Packard. So somewhere in between this is what Jean Harlow would have had. Who knows, we may stumble upon hers in here for all we know. What a great emblem. Once again, look at that. Oh, this has to be great. The reason I think that is because not only is there a picture of somebody here, opera singer Madame Ganawalska, and the reason I made that comment was because I could see, and I bet it's Mr. Nethercutt. No, I don't know. There's some emblems up there. Oh, I love this blue one that we're coming up on next. 1935 Cadillac. Whew. Originally owned by Grover Wallen, New York City Police Commissioner and official greeter of New York City. Absolutely pristine. 1933 Cadillac. Now that is a caddy. I've never understood, you know, when you hear like people talk about, oh, sign of success is getting me a caddy or whatever. Never could understand it, but when you see these kind of Cadillacs, I get it. This must be Cadillac Row here because the next one's a 1931. I mean, I really like this one. 33 is where it's at for me, this blue one. Here's a 31. They have to position these in such a way to, you know, obviously fit so many in here. So it's kind of hard sometimes to get great angles. But that, I'm just piquing your interest. I just want you to have the interest to come out here yourself. (1932 Cadillac). So yeah, I don't know why they didn't put them sequentially or numerically. Just so you could see the progression of everything, but man, that is beaut. Over 50 different body styles were available of the V16 Cadillac chassis. None was more sportier than this elegant sport phaeton. Movie stars and producers were drawn to it. It was a standard. Well, duh. It's a castle on wheels. I'd be drawn to it too. I'd be living in it. (1930) Imperial Cabriolet. Oh, well, that's a different logo. I hadn't seen that emblem yet. It's like a little bugler. Let's take a look at what we haven't even been on this side yet. I still have like 2 more aisles to go. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. 1930 Marmon. Okay, Francis X. Bushman had much, much earlier ones. He had like 1917 Marmons and stuff like that, but I've never actually got to see a Marmon in person, so this is pretty cool for me. Big 8 was a substantially high-quality automobile. Well, now at least I can see what they look like. And this is blue. This one's a blue one, so... Francis X. Bushman's were always lavender. And, you know, like I said, 15 years earlier, but it's kind of cool to see. No way this thing's 23 feet, no way. But who knows? I wish they would have put stuff like that on here, how long it was. 1928 Minerva, Belgium's most famous marquee. Let's see, this beautiful